The video starts with a white car by a gate at a residence. We then see men coming out of the vehicle as the whole situation seems suspicious from the jump. The man moves towards the gate, and we see as he starts using the tool in his hand to try and open the gate. This looked easy for the man as he must have been doing this for a long time. The home must not have alarms by the gate or anything to alert the occupants in the event of something like this happening. This definitely shows the importance of investing in these security measures in homes. They might go a long way in preventing these situations. We then see as they began to take valuables from the house. It is disheartening to see how these clowns do this in clear daylight with no fear at all. This house might have been targeted days before this. Homeowners are always encouraged to report suspicious vehicles or individuals around communities which might be vulnerable. This culprits tend to send scouting individuals or vehicle days or months prior to the initial break-in. The culprits continue to empty the house as they had managed to execute their foul plan here. In this video, we see a car driving by the mall. This car was carrying robbers who had just robbed a store at the mall. We see as the parking personnel try to stop the vehicle by throwing stones at the car. These brave men and women tried to slow down the culprits. This was extremely dangerous as these culprits are known to be ruthless in South Africa. They tend to have no regard for human life. We see the guards as they try their best to stop the car, but unfortunately the car sped off the scene. Props to these parking guards for trying their best there. This man was standing by the gate while focusing on his phone. This is usually not encouraged in South Africa as it might make you an easy target. We then see a white car slowly passing by, and this takes the attention of the man by the gate. This small lapse was the window the culprits were looking for. We then see a clown approaching before snatching the phone from the man. He tried to chase the culprit there, but it was a bit too late. Unfortunately, the clown succeeded there. On this video, we first see two cars stopped on the pavement next to a house. We then see another car approaching the area. In South Africa, certain cars are targeted for parts as they are in high demand in the country. In this case, the white VW was the one being targeted. We see as the culprits move out of the car before going straight for the bumper of the vehicle. It is always risky to park cars outside the gate in South Africa, mostly if the alarm systems are faulty or non-existent. In this unfortunate scenario, the culprits managed to remove the bumper and escape the scene. This car might have been targeted for some time by these clowns, as they seem to have known exactly where it was. It is highly advised to invest in enclosed garages in these areas to lessen the possibility of situations like these. On the next video, we first see two people seated inside a room. This was the back room of a nightclub in South Africa. The two seem to be relaxed, possibly discussing the daily activities of the club. Suddenly, we see men approaching from the other room. The situation quickly became uncomfortable and intense as this clearly becomes an invasion and a robbery. The culprit there seemed to be demanding money to be put inside the bag he is carrying. The other culprits can be seen monitoring the situation to avoid any surprises. The owner there had already showed the clowns the money. It is always recommended to comply in these situations if the culprits have the upper hand. Life is way important than money, which can be replaced. These culprits in South Africa are known being trigger-happy, which is unfortunate and worsened by these illegal guns flooding the nation. They seem to be demanding more money there as these shameless clowns continued their foul plan. Props to these two owners there for staying calm in this intense and difficult situation. The feeling of losing your hard-earned efforts to someone who lived their life off laziness and cowardice is disheartening. The heist continues as the clown continues to repeat the same process over and over as they thought the money would magically appear at the same place they just searched moments ago. They were now resorting to assaulting the owners after realizing their failure here. They continue to scrap for anything they could find in the room. This is typical for people with a brain capacity of a ragworm. Places like these should have panic buttons under the tables or somewhere easily accessible so as to quickly alarm security personnel in situations like these. These culprits seem to be in no hurry at all as they seem to be comfortable in these situations. This is the evidence of what happens when a system is too lenient towards serious crime. The culprits continue to look for valuables as they made sure they took as much as they could. They finally made their way out after the heist. Fortunately, no one was hurt here, and the owners were left physically safe, but the emotional and financial damage was already suffered here. Here we first see a red car and men standing by the gate. They were trying to open the gate at first as it became clear they were illegally trying to enter the residence. We see as they use the same tactics we saw on a similar situation earlier. These gate systems seem to have a similar loophole which must be corrected in order to lessen these situations. We then see as they open the gate and enter the residence. The other culprits follows the leader as we see the firearm these men carried. They then forcibly opened the front screen and went on to break the door of the home. At the same time, the red car enters the residence. The residents of this home might not have been at home here. These culprits tend to have information on these homes due to scouting. They mostly pounce when there are no residents at home to lessen resistance. These clowns were urgently breaking in as they knew the risk involved in these shameful acts. We see as the getaway car prepares to direct towards the exit as the other culprits looked for valuables inside the house. Once again, we see this being done in broad daylight. The culprits don't even bother to cover their faces in most of these situations. This again shows the shortcomings in both the justice system and the law enforcement systems in the country. Culprits have become way too comfortable and reckless due to less to no consequences for their shameful actions. We then see the culprits carrying valuables from the house as they continue their heist. This home possibly had security alerts, and the security personnel were already on the way. It is always recommended to invest in these measures for protecting homes. When looking for security options, it is also recommended to select the ones with better reviews and good reputation when it comes to reaction times. This will be evident later in this video. Guard dogs can also go a long way in protecting your home as they give the clowns something to think about before attempting to break in or target houses. We can see how easy it was for these culprits here. This can be avoided by taking some of the measures stated. We see as they continue to take valuables from the house. House break-ins is the most common crime in South Africa. Between 2022 and 2023, a total of 1.1 million break-in incidents were recorded in the country. About 51% of households that experienced housebreaking reported some or all incidences to the police. The culprits finally finished their shameful act before escaping the scene. The percentage of households that reported the incidences to the police decreased from 59.2% in 2021 to 51.4% in 2022-23. The local security later arrived at the scene, but it was too late. The home had already been emptied. It's astonishing how it took them all this time to react to this incident. This definitely shows the importance of selecting quick and effective reaction security companies when protecting your home. The stats also show how less and less people are reporting these break-ins to the police due to the lack of outcomes after reporting. In most cases, the culprits are never caught or identified, even though they are clearly on camera without masks. This must have been terrible for the owners after they realized what had happened here. On our final video, we see a man carrying a bag and a firearm by the mall in South Africa. At the same time, we see a BMW approaching the area. The driver was suspicious of what was happening right in front there. The man was definitely up to something sinister here. The people around the area had no idea the danger they were around here as they minded their own business there. Some of the people noticed and started to become weary of the situation. These things are common in the nation of South Africa as these culprits become more and more comfortable each second. We then see as the culprits load the staff they just stole inside the getaway car. They continue to take more from the shop. Areas like these should always have a temporary local police station, mostly in a country with high rates of crime. These places are easily targeted by these culprits, and they always escape in most scenarios due to lack of police presence. We see as the getaway car waits for the other clowns to finish the heist. It is beyond belief how these things have become the norm. The easiness and lack of urgency these culprits show proves how this has become a disaster for the nation of South Africa. The culprits even have the guts to execute these heists without hiding their faces in any way, knowing the lack of consequences for these shameful actions. They finally finished and escaped the scene. Our goal here is always to raise awareness and educate the viewers on issues affecting the daily lives of the people in both South Africa and the world. Each and every day, innocent people are affected by these shameful acts due to a lot of factors both within or beyond their control. Thank you all for watching and supporting this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share for more content from Grime.